Good morning, Facebook family and friends. Today it is Tuesday, July 18th, 2017. All right, so I've been doing this is the third video in a row, maybe fourth, that I did about owning your own business. Somebody said I got a couple of messages in my inbox from a lot of gay guys saying, well, a lot of gay guys moved to Atlanta to start a business so that other gay black men can support their business. Well, that sounds good on paper. That sounds excellent on paper. Now, trying to execute that, good luck. Me and Earl started our construction company in 1990. Oh, gosh, when did we start the company? In the late 90s, 98, 99, 98. So we had did some projects prior to that, but we really got seriously about doing renovation projects in 1998. So, for a whole decade, damn near, we bought and sold and renovated houses and built new homes. Now, I just had a long conversation with Earl, who's a licensed real estate agent. And I asked Earl, I said, Earl, in all those years, do you remember how many black gays purchased any of our product, any of the homes that we renovated? He said he couldn't remember. I said, did you have how many black gays did you represent as a real estate agent buying any house? He said, none. Okay. Let me tell y'all something. This is a problem that's indicative of the entire black community. In them 10 to 15 years that we ran that construction company, including a few years we did renovation projects, every house we bought, renovated, and sold, somebody white purchased it. Somebody white. We didn't sell to black gays. Did we want to sell to black gays? Of course we would love to. So we would have sold to anybody. Did we try to sell our homes to black gays? Yes, we did try to sell those houses. We had open houses, we had parties, we had events, trying to get those guys to see what we were doing, get them interested in our homes. We could renovate houses for them. We could do all kinds of work for them. We never got one for a customer. Not one. Now, we did sell a few houses to some friends that we had that were gay. Those were our immediate friends of people that we knew, in our own immediate circle. We did sell houses to them occasionally, but then with some tough ass sales. These were family. These were friends. You think they were going to pay us top dollar for that mess? I helped you. No, it was like, okay, we basically did them a favor just to help them get into a home. So if you come into Atlanta and you starting a business and you basing it upon blacks supporting you or gays supporting you, you may not survive. When I started that construction company, I knew off the rip who my customer base was going to be: white gays. I didn't realize how many white straights would buy our houses. 90% of our homes went to white straight couples. That's who bought our houses. They loved our renovations. And they bought them in droves. Our houses didn't sit on the market long once we got them renovated and completed. Some houses, people said, we never sell. We sold all those houses. Even after the economy tanked, we still sold those houses with short sales and whatever else. We had to get rid of that mess. Didn't have to, but we did it. So I'm listening to all these people who are coming to Atlanta thinking, okay, I'm going to start a business, a restaurant, a store. Because, realize something. We don't have very many black-owned restaurants or clubs here in Atlanta. Kind of strange, huh? You got all these black gays living here. We don't own nothing. We don't have a restaurant. I have a friend who has a restaurant in the West End. He hasn't catered his restaurant to gays. I'm not sure exactly why, but he has a restaurant. It could be the location. Some people might find it to be a little bit unsafe. I don't know. But they'll go to a nightclub that's even in a worse location right around the corner from there. 2 nightclubs over in that area. So, I don't know what to say about people moving to Atlanta to open a business to cater to black gays. Because you might go hungry, waiting for them gay folks to show up at your base. Do not listen to me. Gay or straight, it might not be a good idea to base a business on a certain ethnic clientele. It's not a good idea at all to say, I'm opening my business to cater to black people. No. You need to open your business to cater to anybody that will come in there and spend money at your customer. They be white, black, Asian, Hispanic. It doesn't matter. Open a business where you can get customers in to come to spend money. It shouldn't matter who that person is. If you go after one specific ethnic group, or you try to keep, you're going to have a business that may not last. If you only surviving off black people alone, you're going to be in trouble. It might be a disaster. So look in other areas. I'm working with somebody now. We are considering the possibility of me being a minority investor in a bar/restaurant. He's looking at areas. He's looking at predominantly black areas. I said, look, we need to go into areas going through gentrification, where there are whites moving in. Well, it might be a little bit rough. There's some great commercial stuff in Pittsburgh, in certain parts of East Point, Hateville. Let's look in those places that are going through changes. Let's not run up to Memorial Drive and Stone Mountain when we see all them dead-ass businesses up there that have not survived. Some are doing okay up there. Some are not doing okay. I don't want to go into a dead man zone. It may not be a good idea. You can find some affordable rent in some areas that are going through gentrification, that people go to areas where there is a demand, where they don't have a bunch of restaurants or bars or anything. Go where people need something, where there's a need. There are a lot of neighborhoods going through gentrification here in Atlanta, and they need businesses. They need to have a restaurant or a store or some type of a bar where people can come in and have a drink in a nice place. That's what you do. You don't just say, well, I'm going to build something on Stone Mountain Drive. I'm going to go up in Stone Mountain. Stone Mountain has a bunch of businesses up there. Some of them do well. Some of them don't. But I think I'd rather go someplace where they would really like to see something open, where the community might support your efforts. That's in any business. I don't care if it's catering, doing hair, construction, retail. It doesn't matter what it is. Long as you're able to tell people where you are and you're able to cater them, it shouldn't matter where the business is, but go where there's a demand. Go where they need you to be at. Don't just sit around waiting for some miracle to happen while you up there on off Memorial Drive. There's a lot of stuff up there. Memorial Drive to me is a dead man zone. There's a Jamaican place that I love that go up there. They did a spectacular renovation on the place. They have comedians that come in there every Friday night. They have a full bar. The food is delicious. They have an outdoor patio. They do entertainment. I love the place. It's on Memorial Drive. She's doing well. She's put a great product in the area that was needed. I don't think two places like that can survive along that street. I could be wrong. However, I think I'd rather still go down to Pittsburgh, off Virginia Avenue. See, there are a lot of areas in Atlanta where there's nothing going on. A lot of commercial stuff over there, empty, vacant. That's where I would go. Someplace where the community can say, we've been looking for a place to open. Finally, we have something nice here. Yeah, the areas might be kind of sketchy. Yeah, but a lot of people don't realize this. If you're ever familiar with Atlanta, there's an area called Virginia Highlands. Virginia Highlands has a bunch of stores and restaurants and retail. At one point in Atlanta, Virginia Highlands was one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the Southeast. It's not like that today, but in the late 70s, early 80s, Virginia Highlands was a horrible, dangerous neighborhood. And I remember I used to live next door to a guy named Murphy, who owns this restaurant called Murphy's Restaurant. He opened up in the late 70s, early 80s, somewhere up in there. He was one of the first restaurants to go into that at the intersection of Virginia Highland and Virginia Avenue. Highland and Virginia Avenue. Have you ever heard of Murphy's Restaurant? He's one of the first restaurants to open over there when that place was horrible, when there was shootings and killings all up and down that street. It was the gang violence and all kinds of stuff in Virginia Highlands. Today, Virginia Highlands looks nothing like it took what happened in the late 70s and the early 80s. Today, it's a beautiful neighborhood. I moved here in 1989, and I remember seeing the changes taking place in Virginia Highlands over the years. Now it's just, it's the high rent district. It's one of the most established neighborhoods in the city. But it wasn't like that at first. So sometimes you may have to be a pioneer and go into these places. I hear so many people who want to open up hair salons, barber shops. They immediately want to go into these high rent districts. Go where there is a need. And if you got a nice product, people will support you. If you have a beautiful business where you're maintaining the business on the outside, taking care of, I know there are going to be some obstacles along the way. Yeah, you might have some break-ins and burglaries, and I get it. I understand. And you just have to make sure you secure your business at nighttime so people won't come in there and break in there and steal your liquor and food out the freezer. Because some of these areas are so rough. But Atlanta is changing. Some of these areas are quickly going to... I moved into the old 4th Ward in 1998. That shit was horrible. In 1998, I purchased a home in the old 4th Ward next to a crack house across the street from drug dealers, which was next to a burned out house. There were about 4 or 5 burned up houses in the street. The street was filthy. It was people were dumping their trash on their street, old couches. It was horrible. It was disgusting. I had friends who told me I would not visit you. I was on Rankin Street in the old 4th Ward, which is right off Boulevard, if you know the old 4th Ward area. And I had friends who would say, I'm not visiting you over here. This place is horrible. And it was horrible. But I was a pioneer because I saw something different. They had open Home Depot around the corner, a new shopping center. They had supposed to have had a Harris Teeter, but then the Harris Teeter didn't open, and actually Whole Foods opened in the place of Harris Teeter. So this was not far from where I lived at, off Ponce, but it was still rough back up, and it was filthy. It was nasty, but the community was cleaning it up. They were trying to push the riffraff out. At nighttime, you would hear shootings and all kinds of stuff. Today, the old 4th Ward is an established neighborhood that's beautiful. It has gone through shit you'd be lucky to find a house over there for under $500,000 today. They chased all them po niggas up out of the old 4th Ward. There are a few blacks left over there, not many. All them po niggas had to leave and go. Now along Boulevard, they still up there on Boulevard hanging out, killing each other, shooting each other along that main street up there, corridor up there. But when you hit them side streets, the old 4th Ward is beautiful. But it wasn't like that when I moved there in 1998. So it took some time for that neighborhood to improve. So look for places, if you're going to do a business, look for places. And this goes back to my thing about Atlanta ain't the only place in the city. You can go to a lot of other smaller cities and do all kinds of stuff. Medium-sized cities, like, for example, there are cities I like Montgomery, Alabama. I love Jacksonville, Florida. There are other places where you can go and establish a business. Everybody keeps thinking Atlanta, because they look at all these poor-ass black folks living here on TV, or who run around on TV with some damn, in these reality. I don't understand. There's a lot of fake mess going on here in Atlanta. So, my whole thing with anybody, do what's right for you. But don't base your business decision, whatever you decide to do, just on, unless you have a business that, like for example, you're doing hair braiding or hair weave. I don't know much about that hair braiding and hair weaving business. I don't think a lot of white folks get their hair braided. I don't know. Hey, I'm not in fitness. I'm not in fashion and all that stuff, so I don't know. I've heard that white people get hair weaves. I don't know. But if they do get hair weaves, you might want to cater to them also, not just black folks. Does that make sense? The only way you're going to survive in Atlanta is going to require some hustling. Your own business that you own. Going to work for these white folks' companies, that's going to be a disaster. They're not going to pay you any money. They have no need to pay you any money. Now, when they got all these people showing up here willing to work for $10 an hour, you won't get very far with $10 an hour in Atlanta. And a lot of these jobs literally pay between $10 and $15 an hour here in Atlanta. And I've always said, how do people survive off that? It's not a lot of money. You got to come up with other hustles. That's when I hear people come to Atlanta, I think, woo, what are you doing? Why are you coming here? Oh, you come here because of the club, the nightlife, the parties, the people. Oh. Well, if that's what you're coming to Atlanta for, fine. Come on down to Atlanta, party, have a nightlife, have a good old damn time. But just prepare yourself for the struggle. See, some black folks think that life is about struggling. I don't live my life like that. That's why you don't see no little Walter Juniors running around this house. I don't have any children. I got some Cocker Spaniels running around here. They tend to be pretty cheap. And then they have these dogs in old age now. We go get their asses groomed. We have to sign a waiver. If this dog dies on the grooming table, they're not liable. Every time we take our dogs to groom, they take us sign. They say these dogs are old. They will not be replaced. No more doggies. That's it. Life isn't about struggling, always. At some point in time, you're going to want to have some type of success in your life. And if you think coming to Atlanta is going to be successful, then come on down here. But once you get here, you see what's really going on in the Struggleville, USA, which it is, if you don't know what you're doing. Some black people really, let me state this, because I don't want people to take this the wrong way. I look at members of my family. My sister had a whole bunch of children. She had 4 kids right out of high school. No education, no nothing. She didn't even try. She had all 4 of her children by the same man that she did marry. They got married. But however, she'd always say, poor people want children too. Well, my whole thing was, had you taken the time, gone to school, got an education, got situated in life, then had children, you might not have been poor. But because you rushed out and had all these kids and you really didn't even have a place to live, your own place, no income, no job, no nothing. When they moved to Atlanta, when my family members moved to Atlanta, it financially has always been a disaster for them because they've had all these kids and trying to take care of them. You can't start a business if you're trying to feed your kids unless you have the brain upstairs to do so. If you come to Atlanta, you got to sit down and ask yourself, what do I love to do? What would I love doing that would pay me good money? That people would pay for my services? If you like cleaning your home and you do a damn good job of cleaning, because I have a lady who used to come and clean for us. Oh, she did a damn good job. It was just unbelievable. But that's what she loved to do. Her job, she started cleaning her own home, and she ended up cleaning everybody. She was cleaning out a whole bunch. She cleaned at one point. She cleaned so many houses before she retired. But that was probably the best housekeeper we ever had. We paid her good money because she would come in there and scrub that place from top to bottom. And I was shocked at fold clothes and every damn thing. She was good. Her and her team would come in, they'd get in and out, and the house would be clean, spotless. But that's what she loved to do. She even made her own cleaning supplies. House smelled great when you come down. Whenever she would come there every Saturday, and I get back from the gym, it was like, heaven. Because she loved what she did. So you have to ask, see, there are some opportunities here. There's some things that you can do to survive here in Atlanta. And you can make good money while doing it. But you got to find something that you enjoy doing, something that you love doing, and you have to do it on your own. Going around begging these white folks for a job should not be on your agenda. Don't do it. Create your own business. You'd be surprised what you'll be able to do. You'll be surprised what you're able to achieve on your own. And it doesn't require having to take out an expensive loan. But don't just come here trying to cater your business just to black folks. There's a million white people here and they got money. Cater to them. Figure out what they like. What they will buy from you. They will buy from you. Every house we renovated and sold, white folks bought those houses. The white folks are still in those houses. I drive by them all the time looking. They're still in those houses. Still in them. The paint colors we chose, everything that we chose, they ain't changed. Now, one house in Virginia, I don't know what's going on with that house. They didn't paint the house a hideous color. Would move my expensive, beautiful shutters off that damn house. I went over and drove by that house. It's hideous now. I said, what did they do? Why did they do that? But hey, they own it. I don't. But when I did the house, it was spectacular. People were stopping and taking pictures of that house. Now you look at it, it's like, ugh. But they took all of. I had some beautiful flower boxes made and all this stuff. They took all that mess off that house, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it didn't weather too well. Anyway, I'm not going to be on here too much longer. Today, like I say, it is, what is this? And today it is Tuesday. It is July 18th. It's hotter than the last few days have been hotter than a motherfucker out here in Georgia. Hot out here. It's scorching out here. It's unbelievably hot out here. So anyway, I'm drinking my coffee. I didn't go to the gym yesterday. I may not make it to that gym today. Because when it's hot like this, when it's extremely hot, I can't do the gym because it just drains me. So and I can't get nothing done. So it's best for me just to skip the gym and handle my business over here and try to stay cool. And once the temperature cools down a little bit, I get back in the gym. It's not like missing a few workouts going to kill me. If you like my videos, click like, share them with family members and friends. Make sure you all subscribe to my channel. I hope you all, I'm trying to talk clearly and slowly and precisely because I want people to understand what I'm trying to say. I'm hoping that I'm making a lot of sense in these videos. You know, I'm getting a lot of good emails and I'm getting a lot of questions. So I'm trying to answer these questions and points. And some people seem to think for some odd reason I have it out for Atlanta. No, I've been here for 30 years. I see a lot of the issues here. I've had a lot of family members and friends move to Atlanta and they couldn't make it and they had to move back. I'm serious. Everybody I know have moved. So many people have moved here, came to Atlanta, family members, friends, everybody gone now. They couldn't make it. They couldn't survive because they didn't know how to use their own hands to create a skill to help them live here on their own without going up to these people's jobs. And the aging process doesn't fare well in Atlanta because you got so many young people coming here. They give the old folks the boot and take on and let these young folks in who are willing to work for nothing. Keep that in mind. But anyway, enough of this mess. Today, like I said, Tuesday, July 18, 2017. I'm out of here. Enjoy your Tuesday. And look forward to reading you all's comments on today's video. I'm out.